there, whiskey lovers, and welcome to another one of Mark's Whiskey Ramblings. Not in the trusted whiskey basement, no, of course not. Look at this beautiful weather, the sun is shining, so I thought I'd take you out back to my garden to try this new acquisition that I have, the Glenrothes 1978 vintage. What a superb whiskey, as you will see. But first, let me tell you a little bit about the Glenrothes. It is one of 5 distilleries in Rothes, which is near Aberlour, so heart of Speyside. It was founded in 1878 by James Stewart, who at the time worked for the Macallan. The first distillate ran from the stills on the 28th of December 1879, the same day on which the Tay Bridge collapsed. Now, about 900,000 litres of whiskey were lost in 1897 when the distillery was hit by a huge fire. And in 1903, again, the distillery was hit by a huge explosion. And a second fire again hit the distillery in 1962, all but destroying the distillery completely. Now, this second fire enabled the owners of the distillery to rebuild it completely and to expand the distillery as well. Now, a funny thing, the buildings of the distillery are actually owned by the Edrington Group. Now, the Edrington Group, as you probably know, already owns the Macallan Distillery and the Highland Park Distillery. But the Glenrothes, the brand, the whiskey, is not owned by the Edrington Group anymore. No, this is owned by an independent bottler. You'll probably have heard of them, the Berry Brothers and Rudd in London, the London-based company. They are vintners, but also into whiskey. Those are the guys who invented, let me put it that way, the Cutty Sark blend, for example. So, knowing that the buildings are owned by Edrington and that the brand is owned by Berry Brothers, it is no big surprise that the Glenrothes single malt is a fingerprint malt in both the famous grouse, Edrington, and Cutty Sark, until recently, Berry Brothers. There you go. Anyway, since 1994, Glenrothes no longer uses an age statement on their labels. No, rather, they put on these vintages. As you can see here, this is a vintage 1978. So in this case today, we are trying the 1978 vintage, which was distilled, let me see, the 3rd of November 1978. And it was bottled on the 7th of January. Aha! 7th of January. That's my birthday. Oh, never mind, sorry. It was so distilled in 78 and bottled on my 38th birthday, the 7th of January 2008, making this Glenrothes a 29-year-old. There you go. Bottled on my birthday. Anyway, the whiskey itself then, as you can see, sherry matured, full golden. Oh, look at that, look at that. I'm not sure if you can see that on camera, but thick fat legs coming down the glass. This is going to be a very creamy and full-bodied whiskey. Glenrothes 1978 on the nose. Oh yes, creamy indeed. Like I said, very creamy indeed. I got some butterscotch in there, that comes first, but then immediately a whole basket of fruit follows. I've got the sultanas. I get some apricots, gooseberries, and the whole is covered in a huge dollop of sweet honey. The vanilla is there, the cinnamon is there. Even something heathery, something like I'm not sure how to call that in English. In Flemish, it's arensware, which is a plant. If I were to translate it literally, it would be eagle's fern, which is not a word, I presume, but the Latin term, then you can Google it. The Latin term is Peridium aquilinium, or something like that. Anyway, it's a plant, a fern, some kind of a fern. Even a touch of mint, quite nice. And this is a very creamy, very sweet, and very sweet and round nose. Very exciting, actually. Even though this is only bottled at 43% ABV, let's give this a try on the palate. Very creamy again, but the body is rather light. Probably 43% ABV. Oh well. But nevertheless, on the palate you do get the wood and the fruit, they go hand in glove. They fit perfectly together, creating this beautiful balance. The honey sweetness becomes a fruitiness, becomes spicy. There's this beautiful evolution. And there's even this touch of wood smoke on the back of your throat. Not smoke like in peat, of course. This is smoke from the burned inside of the casks. Very nice though. Even though the body is a bit light, the palate is very round and satisfying. Excuse me. The finish then. The finish is very spicy. The cinnamon now also has a touch of cloves. Even some black pepper maybe. Very spicy and very sweet, and it lasts. It lingers. Wow, this lasts forever. This is very good. Now, it's no big surprise. This whiskey won the Best Speyside Whiskey Award at the World Whiskey Awards in 2008, the year in which it was released. All in all, a rather expensive whiskey to be sure. This bottle will set you back around £300, 300 euros, something like that. Is it worth it? Is any whiskey worth that amount of money? To be honest, I'd say yes. This is a whiskey that really is satisfying, full-bodied. This will go with any type of dessert, but you can also serve some cheese with this. It's so gratifying to have this bottle and to sip it with friends. This is the kind of whiskey that you will sip or savor, not just drink, this is no blend. This is a wonderful Speyside single malt, 29 years old, the Glenrothes 1978. Wow. And that, my friends, is all for this Whiskey Rambling, and I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again real soon, hopefully again with this beautiful weather. Until then, may the malt be with you. Bye bye.